What's up, guys? Messy ass garage here. And today we are going to be taking a look at my newest project. It is a 2001 Honda Civic EX. The EX was the only version that actually came with the D17A2. The A2 has VTEC, single cam VTEC, but VTEC nonetheless. Actually not really, because it's technically economy VTEC, but it added, I think, 20 horsepower? I don't know, I'll put some bullshit on screen. So I picked this up for 500 bucks, and I was like, nice. It's got a manual, it's completely stock, and it was well taken care of, until it started shitting the bed mechanically. I'm going to put eBay to the test on this fucker. Every single modification I buy will be from eBay. Let's unfuck this guy. Okay, so here's our engine bay. We got the most important part right there. That plastic cover is actually the thing that makes this car fast. If you take it off, you lose all 20 horsepower that you gained from the VTEC. If I put that on my Eclipse over there, you would actually gain 20 more horsepower. So essentially the symptoms this car has, when you first start the car up and you take off, just super cold start, it runs like a fucking champ. But as soon as it warms up even a little bit, it loses all kinds of power and it'll start showing misfires. And the misfires are coming from the ECU cutting fuel to different cylinders, because you'll get misfires on cylinders 1 through 4 and random and multiple misfire codes. But the car has shown that it is capable of running perfect when it is very cold. So I hopped online and did some foruming, some Googling if you will. I discovered that the EGR plate between the intake manifold and the block likes to get clogged up with like carbon and sometimes a little bit of fuel in there mixed with the carbon. It will not restrict enough EGR flow for the EGR sensor to throw a code for not enough flow. So the engine is completely confused. It's like, I'm not getting the amount of exhaust gases I need in my intake, but also the EGR is like, yeah, everything's fine. It's fine, we're good. Keep going, brother. And so the ECU shits the bed and starts cutting injectors. The other reason I think it is that, when I disconnected the EGR sensor, the car runs way better. It still has a couple problems, one of which I think might be a clogged catalytic converter, because if you really step on it, it feels like it's held back by something that is really being restricted, either air in or air out. So we're going to take a look at the cat today as well. I'm going to start by taking out the stock Airbox and whatever the fuck this big chunky boy is. Doubt this is the cause of our problem, but it is pretty dirty. We need to clean this. Somebody's been leaking. Yuck. Oh, see, look at that. I just lost 20 horsepower. How could I? Fuck! Fuck! Got my fuel rail assembly out, along with the injectors that are attached. None of them separated, which is nice. Means nothing is fucking broken. I'm going to attempt to leave this here in its current gaggle fuck. I'm gonna take a second to give Honda some props here. The bottom nuts for the intake manifold, like that one that I have partially off there, I was looking at them and I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get to those? Because the intake manifold, like, there's a lot of shit below it. So how do I actually get to them? Honda's a genius. They designed these little crevices to perfectly fit the box end of a 12mm wrench. These three nuts that are all in between the intake manifold are actually really simple to get to. Hey guys, Big Homo here. I was wrong about Honda being super cool. This middle one and this one on the right, they were both lined up in such a way that I could get a box end 12mm wrench on them. This one, as you can tell, I tried a plethora of things on it, including a chisel and hammer, and it ended up that the only way I could really get it to work was by using my Dremel to clear out a little bit of that plastic in order to get the box end over the spot that I needed to, over far enough to the left in order to get the grip point I needed to pop it loose. So yeah, get yourselves a Dremel. They do amazing things. Hey guys, Future Simon here. I'm reinstalling the manifold, and I discovered something that I wish I would have known before. Those nuts that I had to like Dremel and stuff are super easy to get to if you just wait and just remove these 3 studs first. These are the top right, the top left, and that middle one that has a wider gap between the 2 intake cylinders. The 2 hardest studs to get to are actually threaded into the EGR plate. So you can just remove those 3 nuts, and I think there's 2 bolts on the outside, yeah. This one 1 bolt here, 1 bolt on the other side, down there. If you remove those 5 nuts and bolts, you can actually remove it from the head and then get to the really difficult nuts right here. Do that when you're taking it off. Learn from my mistakes. That all went directly into my eyeballs. Fuck you, bitch. Alright, so here's our intake manifold. All of this is carbon buildup. Anywhere that is black and not silver is supposed to be silver. Okay, and this is just something that happens with Hondas over time, especially the D17s from what I understand. Or maybe it's just that the D17s are notorious for not throwing an EGR code even when this is happening. So the EGR works fine. The previous mechanic to work on the car actually replaced the EGR itself, but did not go through the trouble of checking this plate, which is completely fucking plugged. Also, on the block side, it is probably also plugged. These holes, those are EGR holes, and these here will collect up carbon and crap, like you can see in here. And so get in there with a screwdriver and scoop it outward, obviously, because you don't want that in your head. I'm just gonna take a flathead screwdriver and start working on this carbon. It's pretty bad. It is like caked in there. And once you do that, your car should run like new. I got the EGR plate cleaned pretty well. I actually ended up using a rifle cleaning kit. Some of those. It's the next day. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, so I had to go be nice to people. Yuck! I will now put the intake manifold back together the way that I took it apart. Okay. We got her all back together. Everything's plugged in except for that, which goes into the map sensor. And now I'm just going to work on getting the exhaust undone. So here's what we got going on with the exhaust. I'm gonna leave that muffler, or whatever the fuck that is. It might be technically a resonator. And then the actual muffler at the back, that big boy, I'm gonna take off. Now I'm gonna take apart this cat. Alright, so I managed to get these 3 nuts off. They were different sizes and super gay. And there you have it, folks. A completely cleared out catalytic converter. Super, super legal. very legal. Do this and the government will like you more, actually. Especially in California, I hear they love that down there. So, now, all I gotta do is weld that piece back onto this piece. Hello, I got a cameraman. I pay him nothing an hour. Show yourself. It's your boy, it's Noah. It's your main man, Noah.
It's your main man, Noah.
Oh, fuck you. But we thought it'd be funny, super late at night, so my neighbors just really love me, to start it with just a header dump. No O2 sensor, so it's gonna run like trash. I'll be surprised if it even starts. But, yeah, I think that would be kind of funny.
Did you want to like pop open the garage, like crack the garage door
No,
open
it's
so we're not just inhaling? Alright, alright. Alright.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it sounds so good. I'm so happy. Turn the camera off. Turn it off. I'm not gonna run the actual bathtub that comes with this car. It goes from the cold air spot to the intake. I'm just gonna run the intake. But everything's back together. The exhaust is back on. The cat is gutted. And I did not connect the muffler because I want to see how it sounds without the muffler. I know it'll probably still sound like a Honda, but we're gonna see if it sounds okay.
Something's rattling.
Well, it's probably the muffler. The muffler's still on the back of the car, it's just not attached.
Oh, you're right.
There's that Honda fart sound.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I cleared the codes. We're gonna go for a drive. All right, guys, I think we have actually fixed the problem because this thing never felt like this, even with the EGR plug disconnected and all of that. It just feels normal, but honestly kind of fast.
Yeah, for this car, normal is a lot better. But yeah, because I only rode in this thing once before you fix it, and I can fucking tell this is much better.
Yeah, it was trash before. All right, well, we fixed it, guys, and we got rid of the cat, so that was fun. And we'll do more things in the future. Thanks for watching. This was Mr. Grid Engine and Mr. Grid Engine 2, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.